All right, I have about just under 20 minutes ish before I have to go back upstairs to start working on dinner again. So I want to actually do something productive today and with regards to my lawns. So let's just go ahead and get to it here. We're going to go ahead, since we have a direction that we want to go with here, we're just going to go ahead and start to, I want these thin. And what it kind of reminds me of is there are seahorses that look like seaweed, right? I think they're called like dragons, like dragon, something like that. I forget the actual name, but I've actually seen one before in the zoo, not in person, unfortunately, and not in the wild, I should say. And that's going to kind of remind what this reminds me of. So it has really long, narrow, like it looks a lot. It really looks a lot like seaweed or like an underwater fern almost. So it's very thin, like thin necks, thin. I want to say appendages, but I don't know if that's the right word. It probably isn't, but that's the way it looks like. And that's kind of what's modeling in my head here with this seahorse. So let's just go ahead and start removing some stuff here to make that more of a reality, and then we'll go from there. I don't want to waste your time talking about strategy. We know, well, I know what I want to do, and let's just screw it, let's do it, right? So let's go ahead and for some of this. I don't remember if I knew before which way the grain's going here, so we'll have to play this a little bit careful. Pretty normal so far, so that's good. You never, when you get nodules like that, you just really don't know how some of this wood is gonna behave. The grain goes everywhere, and that always makes things, see here it's getting ready to split a little bit here too, up underneath. So that was a short honeymoon, right? Let's just go ahead and be a little bit more aggressive here than maybe I normally would. Really don't want to mess up this eye looking thing here. It is going to be one of the focal points of the wand, but I do need to get rid of some of this and start to flake off. And it obviously has a different, I want to say texture level, but that's not really the right word. It kind of conveys what I'm seeing though, I hope. So let's just go ahead and do that. All right. Ooh, shit, almost got myself there. Woo. Has it even been 2 minutes? It's been more than 2 minutes until I bust a cuss word. I didn't used to cuss a whole lot, actually. I got out of the habit, and because I was working in corporate environments, and then I went back to the Department of Defense and started working around military people, and it just totally came right back. So away that goes, and I work around them now, so they work for me, in my case. All right, let's go ahead and shave some of this off. We weren't sure about that at the beginning. All right, this chattering is driving me nuts. I can hear it like clinking against the sides, and it just yeah, I have issues. All right, there we go. Let me go ahead and move this so you can get a better view. And I think you can get a better view. Yeah, all right. Got to be real careful here. I am actually tempted to flip this over and, like in the ends anyways, at least go this way to get more control over that end. I need that snout to look. The snout's going to kind of make or break it a bit. I just make it like some little fluted thing, and then just I could literally just carve an indent around it, and it would kind of give that impression, but it's not the same thing as actually making that fluted end. And fluted may not be the right word, it's just kind of what's coming to mind right now. That would make sense to me with metalwork. I'm just not sure here since it's not metalwork. So here we go, stripping some of this down. Alrighty. So let's take a look. I know we were looking at some of the angles last time, but since how much time I got? What's my official timer say? Yeah, okay. We're looking at balancing some of this out, and this is related to that, but it's not quite as, we're still in like gross removal at this point rather than fine tuning. And I suppose you could say it really isn't that gross, isn't grossa, right? Large removals, because we're not down to the fine art part of this yet. I don't know that I would call any of my art, my lawn stuff, fine art, but you know what I mean. We're still doing, they're not exaggerated movements, and so you know what, it doesn't fucking matter. All right, let's take a look here. It's pretty straight, not bad at all. Got a little bit of a hump here I want to take down, but for the most part though, it's actually fairly straight. We know we have that curve in there, and we can't do anything about that, and that's fine. So let's turn it this way. We do want this to come like this, so we're going to go ahead and emphasize that a little bit more by taking a little bit more away from this angle right here, right? And in turn, we want to remove just a little bit of this, just to help accentuate that a tad. I mean, we're going to want to remove more, but I want to get the overall shape, so then I can just do an overall red lead reduction, right? And then let's roll here, because we've got a ridge going on. Not bad. It's actually not bad. It's actually coming along pretty decently. You know, I'm pleased. Some of these areas right here are little ridges. I know I'm gonna have to smooth it out at some point anyhow. So I'll just go ahead and start doing that now. And oh, nice shiny edge with some scores on it, but still a nice shiny edge. All right, there we go. Be real gentle lack. Okay. Ooh. Yeah, I know the elections are coming up, and you really can't get away from any of that shit, and I'm not getting into it here. You know what I mean? I'm just not doing it. So this is, unless I want to make fun of somebody, in which case I'm probably going to try to pick something from both of whoever that side is, right? One, well, from both sides basically. So, but you know, I just get so tired. It's like Christmas music, man. You just get so fucking tired of hearing that shit. They start playing it like, oh, it's Valentine's Day's over. Fuck, we better start playing the Christmas music. You know, and it's just ridiculous. You just, you know, you can't turn anything on. But what you can do though, now I can't promise that there aren't political ads, but those are Google's, not mine. My channel is not monetized, you know, and that's fine. I'd have to kind of sell out in a lot of ways, and this isn't going to be a high priority topic, right? So thankfully that gives me the creative freedom to do what I see fit, and I can cuss largely when I see fit. So if you have anybody that you think would like these videos, just go ahead and do it, because I mean, I sell lawns, but I don't need the money. It helps support like my tools. I mean, there's some tools that I would like to get. Like I'd like a decent burner, you know, like a decent wood burner. The one I have has been, it's kind of all pockmarked and all sorts of other shit, because it's been, you know, sent over the ocean at least 4 times that I could think of. So, you know, stuff like that. I mean, even then though, that wouldn't translate to immediate stuff. And if I wanted to buy it right now, I would just buy it right now. Right? I can do that, right? Now I live in Hawaii, so it's a little bit disproportionate, but I do make 6 figures, and if I need to buy myself a little freaking $50 or $100 tool for something like that, then I will do it. But instead, I'm here carving with these freaking $20 tools because they, you know, they work. They work. That, and you know, if I'm being honest, I think I've talked about it in the past. I haven't complained about it in this video. But the last time I was here in Hawaii, I actually had some decent tools before that, and Hawaii is very hard on tools, and they will. I've never found that oiled or not, or, oiled, unoiled. Now, if I oil the tools, I have a problem here because it'll transfer onto this wood and have to remove more of the wood than maybe I want to, depending on where the chisel is, because the chisel is oiled. Small amount, yeah, but it's going to add up like every single video, right? But that also means, though, that you get things like rust and stuff like that on your chisels. And in this case, like with this, it's not that big of a deal. But if I were using like all of my fine files, I've got some in here. Okay, that was dark. It's not going to work. All of them, it still has rust, but it's just harder to see. They all have rust on them, and that transfers to the wood. So I have to get more conscious of that as we go to finishing. And the truth is that if I were to like use a belt sander, I have several. Some are for gross removal, and some are for more final, fine removal. But if I were to do that, it would just not be with this thing. But anyways, what I'm getting at is, if I really want a tool, I can buy it. I don't need to add shit to do it. So, but that frees me up because I can speak freely, and I don't have to, I don't have to worry about like say what one of those other people that made a comment and just kind of showed that they were a jackass in general. I don't particularly care. The language actually did remind me of somebody that I've only met online, and so my response was appropriate, and especially if it's that person, then they probably would have laughed their ass off at it too. It's still appropriate. So, all right, let me check my time because, all right, still got some time left. Yeah, here we go. So we're looking pretty good here. We know now at this point we kind of do have to start to taper here. I want it tapering down because I kind of want to keep this like little nasal. I don't know if that's the right word. So if there are any biologists in here, please don't, kill me. But I'm gonna have to dial this down severely, and then at this last minute it has to kind of grow a little bit so I can maintain this trumpet-like appearance here on the end. I think I called it flute, fluting appearance here on the end. Same thing. We can still work on this. So let's just go ahead and start cutting this down. I wanted to keep this, but I don't really need to so much if this is my preferred, I want to say point of view, but I don't know what to call it. But since that's my preferred point of view, I guess, then we can just go ahead and chisel some of this out. So let's just go ahead and smooth this out some. And hope everything works out so we don't look like we're idiots later, right? Well, I mean, you're not going to look like an idiot, but that's kind of what you sign up for when you do this. Now, this isn't driftwood. It is deadfall. I've stated that in the past. And that means that the wood is largely going to be more stable, more substantial, and so that has different consequences when you go to work with it. So, but I still remember when I was here the first time, my first 3 years here, and it was mostly driftwood, and it was an success rate of like 30%. I'm not even kidding. It was like 30%. So I used to grab my son, and I don't even know why he liked it. I think he just liked being out and walking with me and taking sticks and hitting shit, because he was pretty young then. So I had to jazz it up a little bit and called it shopping for sticks, right? I said, hey, I'm gonna go shopping for sticks. Do you want to come? And you could get him away, get him away from the iPad if you said you were shopping for sticks. And so, because that meant that I was gonna find something cool, and I would try to find ones that had like little branches on the sides, like, look at this. This is like a pirate dagger or some useless shit like that. And it really wasn't, but that was enough. And so he would get all. If I tried that today, he would like, don't do that. I mean, he's a teenager, so that's the way that goes. But he still remembers it though, and he probably will. for a while. So there we go. Let's go ahead and work on this a little bit. And what are we working on? The back side of this neck. It's pretty thick right here. It's pretty uneven, a bit lumpy. You know, maybe it's a middle-aged stick. I mean, that's kind of what happens, right? So, and the answer to that is yes. I'll be 47 this month. I was robbed of a Halloween birthday, and that's pretty much what I'm going to say. So close. So close. Should have just duct taped me back in or something. You know what I'm saying? If somebody finds that offensive, then, you know what? I don't care. Okay? That's not what this place is for. Just duct tape me back in. And I'd be lying if I said it wasn't just a tad bitter that I wasn't born on Halloween. You know, that close. And I don't really know the whole story because my actual mother is a pathological liar. And usually she'll tell you mostly the truth, but there's just enough that you can't validate. That is, usually that's the incredible part. If you ever do validate it, then you realize that she's usually fucking lying or it's misrepresented. Anyways, so there's some, I'll say the origin story is contested. Not DNA wise, I'll say that, right? So nope, I got lucky there because I'm born with all these traits that you know, irritate the shit out of her family because of my dad, and that can be valuable to me, right? I like him, but when you get raised by people that don't like you simply because of your gender and the fact that you just won't conform, you know, that's the way that goes. So let's get back to this. There we go. See, that is just so, I don't even know why that's satisfying. Tipping this thing down here and then watching that little curl. Now I'm on the fence about keeping this. I want to keep it because it's a natural feature. Obviously, as I've said before, it's easy to take stuff off. It's much harder to put it back on, and that's something that I largely can't do. All right, hold on, I need to check my time, my cook timer. Okay, got like another minute. I got a minute to win it. So let's just do some general reduction here. It's looking pretty decent. We'll start with, we're starting to get some peel out here, chip out, excuse me, here. Chip out is the term I use. There's probably a technical term, but I haven't gone to chisel school, so so I may not know it. I am actually pretty grateful that I haven't been coughing like this entire freaking video. I have been. I'm still under the weather from that cold I got in Maui. So there's evidence to chip out here. So let's just go ahead and flip this over. Flip it like some Yola, right? Yeah. Oh, it's freaking hot as shit out here. All right, so we can see right here just from this backside that this is pretty thick, but I don't know that I'm going to do much with it because it's what gives the personality here. I'm not going to produce much more here because it gives that, if I were to do too much more here, it would make it look kind of freaking stupid, right? If we're looking here from the side, we've got some stuff to do here. Let me go ahead and mark it a little bit. We want it to be a little bit less lumpy on this side here. Just more gradual really is what we want, and that'll work there. Nice gradual thing down here. I'm tempted to take this down right here. I'll put a couple marks, but that's all I really want to do because I might need some wiggle room here to take this in, and you know, I need it to be a little bit more balanced than that. So if we look over here on this side, we know this is our cosmetic feature we want to keep, so therefore we have to take from here, which you can see from down there from looking at it from the other angle. So we'll just go ahead and accentuate that we need to do that. We're not going to get that tonight, but we will need to get to it. And this is going to be a little bit of a challenge, and I'm just going to leave it as it is right now. I think once we come back for that next video on there, we'll start to shape some of this a little bit more, start to make this a little bit more trumpet-like, and then And then we'll probably actually switch back here to the handle, which we haven't done much of anything with. And that's obviously because we didn't know which way it was going to go. Now somebody can still do it like this, and it's going to look like this, but it's this. I don't know if it looks much better with a with a left-handed grip than it does with the right. Because really we're looking at how do we want this one to sit on a stand. I don't make stands. I probably could. I've got the tools, but I just don't do it quite yet. I have other interests. So there we go. This is going to be it for this video. We got 20 minutes in, and now I have to rush upstairs to make sure I don't screw dinner up. All right, have a good one.